anybody here? It's a bit quiet, isn't it? Hello? It wasn't too many years ago when people would come to work, punch their ticket, collect their week's wages, and that was it. But in manufacturing places like this, where you've got hot materials, toxic chemicals, and overhead cranes, people got hurt. So what's the difference between this place today to, say, 20 years ago? The equipment's the same, the aluminium's the same, it's potentially just as dangerous. Well, the difference is the people. I'm a huge believer of health and safety in the workplace. And thankfully, most companies have improved their safety processes and procedures over the last 20 years. But they have to. It's the law. But you guys have gone beyond that. G'day, Lou.
G'day, Pierre. How are you?
Good, mate. Nice to meet you. So, Lou, I know health and safety is a big part of the company, but you guys don't just tick the boxes. I mean, you've won awards.
Yeah, we won the Fletcher Building Health and Safety Award in 2008.
Very impressive, mate.
So we won that out of 20,000 employees.
Excellent.
Which we're really proud of.
And I've heard that you guys talk more about practices as opposed to procedures.
Yeah, for us it's all about the employees' wellness, their health. It's more than just rules and regulations. It's really important for us that they look after themselves and their families, and if you've got that right, then your health and safety goes from there.
So it's an overall thing?
Yeah, yeah.
And you mentioned families, because health and safety in the workplace, it carries on to families. I mean, the bonus is huge for everybody, eh?
Yeah, for a lot of people here, they think of their teams as their second family, so it definitely does.
Got the whānau thing happening?
Yeah.
Talking about whānau, I heard you guys have been doing the Christmas party thing. I mean, that's a sort of a thing that companies used to do ages ago, but now it's more about families.
Yeah, we have 200 employees and we have over 400 people turn up for our Christmas party, and they do egg and spoon races and tug of war, and it's awesome. It's
Kids
really
get a prize.
great fun. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
Santa came.
Santa came.
And his jandals.
Excellent, excellent. The other thing, I suppose, with a company like this, you've got lots of different nationalities, people from all over the Pacific and the world, maybe?
Yeah, we have people from all over the Pacific and Asia, and they speak English as a second language. So for us, we teach them how to read and write. It really helps them with their work and helps them with their families. They can teach their kids, take an active part in their schooling, and it has really positive impacts for us as a business.
But that must create a really good relationship between employer and employee if you're giving them that sort of support to learn English and write English. I mean, it must be a win-win situation.
Yeah, it definitely is. We have a relatively old factory, but we have uptime of 95% or better, and it's all about the guys looking after their own gear, maintaining it themselves, and taking a pride in what they do. And you won't find a plant that runs better or more efficiently than the one we've got.
Lou, that sounds awesome. If you don't mind, I wouldn't mind having a bit of a look around the factory and talking to some of the staff about health and safety. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's really good.
I'll leave you to your work.
Thanks very much. Nice to meet you,
mate. See you, buddy.
See ya.
Fletcher Aluminium Registry.
Morning.
All right, Bill, how are you?
Nice to meet you, Sen.
I believe you want to have a look around the site.
Yeah, if I can, mate. We might as well get going, eh?
Okay. But before you go,
Yeah.
we need to gear up with some PPE.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so here's your helmet.
Right. And does everybody have to wear this stuff, Matt?
Yes, I'm afraid so. It's,
Okay.
and you soon see why.
Okay. No, I'm
Your
into it.
safety glasses
Thank you.
and your high visibility jacket.
Thank you very much. They're not going to miss me, are they?
No, we're not. That's the whole point.
Right.
And here's your earplugs.
Good.
I see that you already have your safety shoes on.
Yeah, standard
So
for us.
We're all set to go now.
Mate, I'll follow you.
Please follow me.
Cheers. So, what happens here?
This is extrusion area where the whole process starts. The logs are first heated through a series of gas burner to a temperature of 480 degrees C. The billet is then extruded through the press to about 50 meters long. The metal is then straightened and cut into 5-meter lengths. The metal is then stacked onto frames, and the frames are put through an aging oven where the metal gets its final properties of hardness and tensile strength. The metal comes up from the aging oven where it is dispatched to the customer as mill finish, where no further finishing is done to it. We can go to powder coating, where it's mainly for windows and doors domestic customers, or through anodizing, where it's mainly used for industrial purposes.
G'day, Si.
G'day, Peter.
Nice to meet you, bro.
I'll leave you with Si. I'll see you later.
Okay, thanks very much.
Right.
So, tell me what happens here.
This is where the anodizing starts.
Yeah.
This is where the caustic tanks are. They're fairly strong chemical.
Working with these types of materials, do you have to have extra protection for safety?
We do. We issue all operators some polycotton uniform to minimize their physical contact with the chemicals. Right. Plus we have chemical awareness training. They're all well aware of the risk of chemicals. This team here has achieved a milestone of achieving more than 20 years without a lost time injury.
They must be pretty proud of that.
Oh, of course. Yeah, they love it.
So what happens if there is a spill?
Minor spills do happen, but when there is a major spill, we will evacuate the people and attend to any injured persons, and then dial 111 if necessary, and then isolate the immediate area.
So do you guys know how to clear up a spill?
Of course, all operators in this area, they are specifically trained to handle any spill.
Okay, because taking a look at this place, it is potentially dangerous. I mean, there's some hazards there if you didn't know what you were doing.
Well, we have trained our people, just in case of any major spill, they will have to comply to our spill response plan.
In our spill response plan, we must identify the substance using our MSDSs or the product labels. If safe, stop or reduce the flow of the spill by turning off isolators or valves. And if safe, isolate and contain the spill using spill kit materials. Prevent liquids from entering the drain using drain mats. Our operators are trained in areas of most risk. If they do see a spill, they need to tell their supervisor. Importantly, they must fill out a report form. At Fletcher Aluminium, we do practice reduce, reuse, and recycle. And we do recycle wood and our aluminium scraps.
There's a lot of equipment in use here, and as Lou mentioned, it may not be particularly new, so it needs careful maintenance. Apparently, that's all done by Phil and his team of engineers. G'day, Phil.
G'day, Pio. Nice to meet you.
And you, mate, and you. Phil, can you give me a bit of an idea of the potential safety hazards from an engineering perspective?
Some of the potential hazards we have on this site, a lot of moving machinery. We have to get behind safety guarding and make sure that somebody's watching your shoulder when you're doing that sort of work. So a lot of stored energy.
Right.
So there's potential there to really hurt someone if you're not careful.
But the maintenance of machinery isn't just about productivity, is it? It's about safety as well.
Yes.
So tell me about that.
On this site, we certainly have a culture of zero harm. So part of our job in the engineering team is to make sure that we implement a system called TPM,
right,
which stands for Total Preventative Maintenance.
Yep.
And that system allows us to monitor the machinery, and we have a database which tracks all that. So it does costing and it does analysis on downtime, uptime.
Yeah.
So it's a fantastic system, but it enables us to keep control of the safety side of things.
Yeah, so part of the safety culture, really.
It is, definitely.
I mean, this isn't a huge workshop. Do you have any issues with regard to confined space or anything like that?
Definitely, that actually adds to the risk a wee bit. Because when you're getting into confined spaces, obviously there's nowhere to go.
Yeah.
So if you're doing that sort of work in a confined space, you have to have somebody with you to make sure that if anything goes wrong, they can help you.
Yep.
So it has to be a certified process. So you can't actually get into a confined space now without a certificate. So everybody gets trained, and hopefully everybody's on the same page.
Awesome. I've noticed there's a lot of overhead cranes that are used, and you have procedures to make sure that that operation is safe.
Yes.
But what about shifting stuff manually?
Manual handling, we have a bit to do with that, but I think it's probably better to hand you over to Losa. She's the expert in that area.
Cool. I'll have a chat to her.
Good.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks, Pio.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Good.
Hi, Losa.
Oh, hi, Phil. How are you?
Good, nice to meet you. Hey, look, tell me the sorts of safety issues that you come across with regard to manual handling.
Shoulder, back, long-term injuries. That's what we're trying to avoid.
And I notice these guys work in pairs.
Everyone works in pairs, and we do rotation as well,
Yeah.
so that you get out of just using the one side of your body all the time.
So if I was to come down and apply for a job here, I would have to be physically fit to do this job properly and safely, right?
You definitely have to be fit.
Yeah.
And I have the man here that I'd like to introduce you to, who's our trainer, Puki.
You're setting me up. Hey, Bookie. Oh, she said, hey, nice to meet you, dude. Okay, bro, I've come for a job. I need to be fit. What are the sort of things you can help me with?
Yeah, we call it move day work.
Okay.
And we do this every morning before we start work.
Every morning? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I just follow you?
Yeah, just follow me. We call this put your hand into your hips.
Yeah, yeah.
Butt up.
Oh, yeah.
Bend your knee. Relax. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you go up. Mm-hmm. Chest up. Relax. Oh, incredible. Yeah. That's the one. How you feel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Phil,
Oh, g'day, bro.
you should have stuck to the pedestrian walkway.
Oh, sorry, mate.
It's designed to so that drivers can see where you are.
Oh, okay, so these things here are sort of like safety zones.
Exactly, so it's designed to keep people away from traffic and around the site.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Sorry about that. Now, look, what is your biggest hazard with regard to transport around the site?
Well, it's actually people like you, Phil.
Oh,
First-time visitors to the site.
Okay.
Because they do not know what the regulations and rules are regarding traffic management.
And what other measures do you have in place to keep people safe on site?
When we load or unload goods on site here, we cordon the area off.
Yep.
So we keep pedestrian away from the danger zone. So that way we control the hazard appropriately.
I know what that's called. That's called hazard ID, right?
That's exactly it. And I've got the right person for you to talk to.
Who's that?
It's Roy.
Roy?
Yes.
I'm going to talk to Roy.
Okay.
Thanks very much, mate. Cheers.
Stick to the pedestrian
Sorry.
walkway.
G'day, Roy.
Hi, Pia. Good day.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you, Pia.
Now, first question. Hazards. Mate, aren't they constantly changing?
Yes, they are. That's why we review the hazards every 6 months.
Who and how do you do that? I mean, do you have a system, obviously?
We have a safety business unit plan for windows and doors, and part of it is that we need to identify 2 hazards per employee per year. And so I'm one of the organizers and organize the hazard identification in the whole of Fletcher Aluminium. We mapped out in different areas, and all these people from different business units are taken to this hazard ID, and then they go to this area and identify the hazard.
Right.
Oftentimes, if you are working there, you're sort of blind with the hazard, but with fresh eyes coming from a different area, you can see the hazards really clear.
Now, I mean, I hear you, and it's all good, and I know the system's working well, but do people really take notice of hazards?
Yes, they do. We bring this up to our meetings and we show them these photos of the hazard. We go through them the procedures. It's part of our process. And even Lou spent a whole day in my packing line. And that's just great because Lou now has got a good understanding about my hazards on the powder coat line too. It's a short table where we are accumulating all this metal, but too much metal coming on. So he's got this approved to be lengthened. And with the support of management and the people on the floor and team leaders, now we know how to manage the hazards because we got all the support of the people.
That's fantastic. Hey, thanks very much.
You're welcome.
Cheers. Well, mate, I have to say you were right. You were right, mate. You have got a great team of people here and they've got fantastic values.
Yeah, our values are really important to us. Our team lives by their values. We intertwine them with everything we do. So our meeting rooms are named after our values. We have values awards every quarter for the people who have demonstrated them the most, and then at the end of the year we have a values award for the people who have demonstrated them consistently all year. So it's a really important part of what we do here.
Mate, they must just love it.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They really do.
Look, I heard a bit of a whisper that you went down onto the shop floor and you were working with the team, checking out a bit of health and safety, and I reckon that you should get a values award like the Together Value Award.
Yeah, I don't think I need an award, but we'd like to give you one. We'd like to give you the Passion Award for what you've done for us today. We really appreciate it.
Mate, thank you very much. That is fan. Look at that. Fantastic. Actually, bro, I wanted to talk to you because I'm actually quite keen to get a job here to work with you guys.
Okay.
And maybe we could start off with a Camry as a company vehicle. And I need 5 weeks off because, you know, I've got kids and stuff, mate. Hello? Hello? Mate, communication's a value, mate. Okay, forget the camera.
Come on.